Welcome back to the Sip and Swish podcast. Here with Nick Reed, Lucas McLean. You got your boy, Jason Stoltz.
Oh my God. He made himself the boy.
He's the boy this week.
It's only fair, damn it. It's only fair. So guys, NBA Finals are finally here. There's so many other things going on in the league right now that are really exciting to talk about, but we'll get to them. We'll get to them after the finals discussion, if you're cool with that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
In local news, a friend of ours, Julius, nearly ripped my foot off my ankle while we were playing ball yesterday. Shout out. Thanks, Julius. So we had to postpone dropping this pod. I apologize. I had to make a quick stop to urgent care.
I honestly thought you guys were just like, because I didn't show up to basketball because I was so sunburnt and slightly hungover, that you were just doing the podcast alone.
Do the other pod.
I was really thinking that in my head.
Mine, Lucas's real pod.
The other real pod.
Where our listeners go to get the true information, the insight.
Stat heavy, super insight.
Analytics driven.
Yeah.
What are you saying? I don't bring that to the table? Like, come on, guys. But we also kept our beards, too, this week.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah. Why don't you recap that for the listeners that might have missed an episode?
So apparently, Lucas made a bet on the night before my birthday that if the Rockets win, we'd both shave our beards. Yep. Which I don't remember being involved in this bet, but I was just there by association.
I remember making the bet for you.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't make this bet, and our buddy Carlos was like, nah, you did. So Carlos would have to shave his beard if the Warriors win, which I felt really good about. But then Jason took it a step farther and decided he would, how'd you bick your head?
Yep. Bick my head, which seemed like not the end of the world at the time. And then upon reflection, I was like, oh my God, my daughter is going to cry her sweet little eyes out when she sees me with a shaved head. So I was sweating it. I watched that Game 7. I'll be honest, I was a little sleepy. I was watching the second half of that Game 7 in bed. And I don't know if any man has ever had heart palpitations of that of that size and scale while just hanging out in bed watching basketball. But I was freaked out. I just kept picturing that sweet little face just full of tears saying, "Daddy, you're ugly."
That would have made my day. You just recorded that and just sent it to us, and I'd watch it every day.
We could have put it on our Twitter account.
Yeah, that would have been perfect.
Then
you might have to shave your head now.
Right?
Yeah.
So we're just going to get more listeners. So, finals. It's here. It's kind of what no one wanted.
But what everyone expected going into the season.
Fourth straight time.
Yeah. 8th straight finals appearance for LeBron James.
Which is just silly.
Freaking God.
Cavs versus Warriors 4.0, which we said was sipping about 2 months ago. And it felt like a legit call at that point. It really did.
Yeah.
Even watching the first round of the playoffs, the Eastern Conference playoffs this year, you still were like, all right, Bron maybe makes it out of this first round, but it didn't look possible for that trash Cavaliers team to reach the finals.
They just looked awful, and no one believed in the Pacers. I didn't believe in the Pacers. So like, oh, the Cavs got this, and they took them to 7. It's just been a really weird playoffs.
I think it's the perfect storm for like the underdog right now is super LeBron, right? But he's been that underdog story every single series. It's felt like maybe not the Indiana series. Like everyone kind of agreed he should have won that series, but they brought it to 7, so he had every chance to lose. But now I don't know if like the last chapter of this like ultimate underdog bringing this terrible team to the finals. I don't know how much more LeBron can do to win against this super team.
I was listening to the Low Post, and the consensus pick is like Warriors in 5, which I just think is a safe pick. So then the Warriors win in Oracle again, like that kind of thing. Where
yeah.
It happened last year when everyone's like they could sweep this team, and they just happened to lose Game 4. Just so they happened to go back to Oracle to win.
Do either of you see any path where the Cavs can pull a victory?
A 1-win?
No. I mean, win the finals.
Absolutely.
Like you can't see any scenario in which this works. Like make up hypothetical scenarios. How can the Cavs win it?
Knocking on wood, so I don't want this to ever happen. But
okay.
The Warriors are in a plane crash. The bus crashes.
Those are the most extreme scenarios.
Like all the players on the team are just not there anymore, and then the Cavs will win by default. But
I like that you softened it by saying not there anymore and not dead. But that was obviously.
I didn't say they died. They just like all injured.
They just don't live anymore.
They're just all injured.
All right, knock on wood again.
Yeah.
No, so I definitely could see it happening. I don't expect it by any stretch, but I could see it. I mean, the Warriors look atypical for how they normally play. They look strangely disjointed. LeBron, on the other side, is on his greatest, in my opinion. Take any stats out of it, he's on his greatest postseason tear of all time.
It might be one of the best postseason tears. He's scored the most points going into the finals. He's averaging 34, 9, and 9 while shooting like 54% from the field.
Yeah.
And I think if you can get Kevin Love back, totally healthy, on his A game, head right, we'll see.
Yeah.
And conversely, if the Warriors do not get Iguodala back, for some reason, that's unlikely, but you're saying paint the picture. What's the scenario
where the Cavs can win?
I think that's how the Cavs can win.
Yeah.
Kevin Love, a big plus. Iguodala is super important to that team. I think we really saw it last series where they would have lost, in my opinion, if Chris Paul had played.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I firmly believe they would have lost Game 7 if Chris Paul was there.
And then they've got a chance. What's your take, Luke?
I've been trying to create the scenario. And the only way I can think of, I tried to look back at every single game of the previous Warrior series. Klay Thompson has been getting into foul trouble at the first half, like almost every game. He's gotten like 3 fouls, and then he has to sit a majority of the third and then come in.
That was crazy in Game 7.
Right?
Didn't he get like 2 like right off the bat?
Yeah, it was 3 fouls within, I think, 5 minutes.
And there's been some random games like during the Pelican series. There were like a few games where Klay had 4 fouls or something midway through the third. And it's like, I don't know how you can plan to get someone in foul trouble. You can't. But maybe you force the issue switching LeBron onto Klay and drawing a foul, switching Kevin Love onto Klay, getting a foul. If you get one of these 4 guys in foul trouble, mainly I think Klay, because I don't think you can stop Durant at this point. You just extend. You go back to what do you go back to? You go back to was it the old Thunder Miami finals where Bosh was like, we just take out James Harden, let Westbrook and
let
Durant
them get their 60.
So I think you have to do that. I think you just say Curry's going to do Curry in the third quarter. He might suck the first half. We'll just hope for that. Let Curry do Curry. Let Durant do Durant. Let Draymond take every open shot feasibly possible, and just do whatever you can to destroy Klay. I think you have to take Klay out of the equation because the Cavs are so bad at defending 3-point shots, and Klay is shooting 43% from 3 in the playoffs this year. Like, you have to stop this guy because I think there's a chance you could get Curry injured, or Curry could just get an injury. He's got that bum knee, which apparently only wakes up in the third, but
it's their favorite quarter.
Their bench is really bad. No Iggy. They didn't even play David West last series. They haven't played a center, I don't think, in 9 games.
Well, yeah, just the way the matchup worked for the Rocket series.
But I don't think you can just throw Javale McGee back into the finals and think Javale can.
Are you kidding me? He's the best player to ever exist. He's the MVP.
That's my only scenario. Is you have to take Klay out and you have to give Draymond offensive confidence that he can jack threes. Even if he makes 3 1/4, I think you still live with Draymond just jack.
Live and die.
I would rather have
the
Draymond jacking threes than Klay or Durant or Curry, whatever. You just let him take wide open shots.
Yeah, I almost feel like you deliberately goad Durant and the Warriors into that just keep feeding KD.
Yeah, play some junk D and have double team Klay, double team Curry, and just leave Draymond alone out on the wing. I think it would get in Draymond's head too.
Oh, yeah.
Because after he misses 2 wide open threes, I think his brain just shuts off. And he's just I can't take another one. I have to pass. I have to drive. I have to do something reckless. I think those are the only ways they can win.
And the Cavs definitely have to keep the transition play for the Warriors down. They had to use the shot clock a lot.
Oh, yeah. They just slow the game down.
Slow it as far down as
you do not want to get into some shootout.
5 seconds or less at the end of the shot clock.
That would be perfect if every shot clock they thought, all right, we actually start at 10 seconds. I think that if their offense was only limited to a 10-second play or whatever, I think that'd be the best way to do it.
But God, could you just imagine if LeBron wins this?
They also need like J.R. Smith to have like
JR
3
games?
J.R. Smith games because I anticipate him like not being a player for like 4 games.
I believe he averaged 2 points on the road last series.
That's
2
really
for
bad.
a starting shooting guard.
Getting
Like
paid
shooting
15
is in the
million.
name of his position.
Yeah,
Like, how can you
seriously.
average 2 points? I mean, I think one thing that's going to be really interesting to watch throughout this series is going to be the ebbs and flows throughout the game. So you have Cleveland, which is playing the best first half basketball out of anyone in the playoffs right now. They're number 1 in points per possession in the first half.
Wow.
But then you have the Golden State Warriors, whose third quarter points per possession is something like best of any quarter in the playoffs in the last 20 years.
They're just silly in the third quarter.
Their third quarter, like the stats that back it up, is astounding. So it's going to be really interesting to see, like, does it actually play out like this now that these teams are facing each other? Do the Cavs come out, throw that big first punch? Maybe Warriors tighten it up. Are we going to see a lot of, tight scores at halftime or even Cavs by 5, 6, 7? And then it's like third quarter time.
All
what
of a sudden, the
happens?
Warriors are up by 7 points. That's what happened in the Game 7. Everyone's like, oh, yes, Rockets are winning. Like, I'm like, just third quarter. Just wait for it.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, they go, how'd you know? I was just like, it's what they do every single time.
Yeah.
It's just Warriors basketball. If they're not up by 15, they're going to be up by 15 after playing the third quarter.
And the Cavaliers' offensive efficiency actually drops to 15 out of 16 playoff teams for the second half.
And they're just,
That's
I
just
think what
terrible.
happens is LeBron comes out, and it was that one Boston game we watched where he put 23 up in the first
Yep.
quarter, just doing everything.
But exhausts himself.
He exhausts himself, and then it slowly decays in the second. He tries to come in the second half and do something, and he's just still tired.
What is nice, though, is that I feel like he's been able to pull it together in crunch time in the fourth quarter. So even though, yeah, you kind of see him only at times. I mean, we just talked about how amazingly he's playing. But you see him wilt a little sometimes, like midway through the third, early fourth. But he's been a beast at crunch time.
Yeah. I could see him taking like second quarters off. And that's going to be the problem, though, because they need to take advantage of that first half.
Right.
But I think LeBron needs to use as much of his godlike energy in that third quarter and go like straight defense, really. Like they need to slow down the Warriors somehow. And you really can't have LeBron coasting in that third.
No.
So I don't know, but how do you – it's so hard because you can't really – there's no real point to take advantage except for that first half. But LeBron's going to have to coast because he's going to have to go 110% for the second half. But I don't even know if you have like a LeBron going like 85% in the first half is going to be enough.
I keep looking at this team, and I'm just very, very confused how they're in the NBA Finals still.
I don't get it either because they've beaten 3 teams that are in the top 10 in defense efficiency. They beat Boston, that I think they were tied number 1 with Utah, or they were number 1.
I think they were number 1, but it was like by a point something.
Right,
Yeah.
so Boston was the number 1 defense. They beat them. They beat the Raptors. They're the number 5 defense. And then they beat the Pacers, who are the number 9.
And they crushed the Raptors.
And they crushed them. So I'm like, and I think the Warriors were just like, they were average among the playoff teams. But so I'm not too worried about the Warriors defense. I'm just more worried about the Warriors outgunning the Cavs by a lot.
I think they'll just we don't have to play defense either. Like you guys aren't. We're not going to play defense. We'll just outgun you. You have Durant, you have Curry, you have Clay. Like against LeBron and maybe Kevin Love.
I think you have to try everything. Like, I think Ty Lue has to play a scenario where it's LeBron, Kevin Love, and Tristan Thompson out there.
Yeah.
And, like, gobble up all the boards and just hope that the Warriors start missing. So
They really got to get
every defensive
They got
board.
to get inside.
Yeah, you have to get every defensive board, and you have to get every offensive opportunity. So, like, J.R. Smith is jacking a shot, Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson have to be there next to Draymond getting a board. And I think they can do that.
So who do you guys think would be, like, a key role player that needs to go off for either team, really? I guess mostly the Cavs. Like, who could the Cavs pull out of nowhere and just...
I'd say Tristan Thompson, but I feel like he's kind of already back to being in the fold.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess Tristan Thompson is the obvious answer. If he continues playing solid basketball, that really ups their chances. I think George Hill is the more interesting answer
I like that.
and potentially more impactful. Right as you were asking that, and I definitely want to hear Lucas's answer as well. I was about to bring up a stat that blew my mind, which is that the lineup of George Hill, J.R. Smith, Braun, Jeff Green, and Tristan Thompson has outscored its opponents by 25.7 per 100 possessions. That's the second best out of 23 lineups that qualify in the entire playoffs.
That's absurd.
That's a weird. I would have never guessed that in a million years.
I guess because you have George Hill, who's the secondary playmaker. Jeff Green has weird nights.
See, Jeff Green's always in that lineup, which has been really confusing lately. All those like higher efficiency lineups is Jeff Green. You never see him like posting any huge stats. Maybe he's doing like all the small things right.
Right.
The big takeaway is probably Love isn't a part of that. And Love's playing terrible this playoffs. And since they ever got Kevin Love, they've just been playing him wrong. You know, they've basically turned him into like Ryan Anderson.
Yeah.
But he's like way bigger than Ryan Anderson, so it's like,
or even like a Chris Bosh. They want him to be Bosh.
they just want him to stretch the floor, and it's like, well, he was always this tank of a guy in the post who could shoot threes. That wasn't like his primary skill set.
He was like I feel like he was like 30% or something when he really started shooting them in the beginning, and everyone's like, he's the best 3-point shooter we've ever seen.
Yeah, at the time they didn't have like bigs that shot threes.
Yeah.
But I think like maybe Tristan Thompson has really turned it around. Like he's just getting all those energy buckets and
they're gonna need like big games from him. Like 14, 15 boards.
They're gonna need those humongous board games. I think my key player would probably be I just want to know which center the Warriors are going to go with.
Which one of the four?
Yeah, which one of those gigantic
They have 6, I think.
Part of me thinks they're going to play David West. Like they're just going to go
I
with
think
that
if Tristan
guy.
Thompson's in, they're going to play David West to get down low and just bruise him.
And just
I think
be a
that
bully against him.
Yeah,
'Cause
just
I don't see them playing Zaza. I don't see them playing.
Zaza hasn't. I don't even
No
know.
one should play
Maybe.
Zaza ever.
Unless you're only putting Zaza in to hurt LeBron.
Right.
Like that's
In
the
which
only
case,
reason.
not the worst strategy.
So I think maybe I'm going to go with David West, even though I think George Hill would have been my number one, because I think if he plays any above average defense on Curry, I think he could do that. Or like whatever Deladova,
Yeah.
good D on Curry. Like if
just
George
has to
Hill
play
could
feisty.
yeah, if he could do feisty for like 3 games or like 2 games, just take advantage of whenever you can. But I think David West, to see if David West has any energy left in the tank to outboard Tristan Thompson, which if I said in the regular season, I think
Even
anybody
if he
could outboard
doesn't have to
Tristan
like outboard him, he just has to like on offense just get some fouls on him. Like
Just
make
draw
him
fouls.
Yeah.
Just wear him down, beat him
Where-
up.
yeah,
you know?
get him down in like the first half. Or even Durant does that. They post like Durant up and
Yeah.
just try to get like Tristan a little bruised up. To
See,
go
that's
into
how I
the
think the
segment.
series would end. Like if Tristan Thompson and Kevin Love get into foul trouble, it's over.
Oh, they're done.
Ultimately, I don't think this is that like revolutionary of a thought. I really feel like the only way the Warriors can lose this series is if the Warriors lose.
Yeah.
I don't think the Cavs, despite LeBron's second of all time greatness, I just don't think there's anything they can do. The Warriors have to lose it. They have to either go on, which they could, a wicked cold streak
Yeah.
where Clay can't hit and Curry can't hit, and KD drops 40, but who cares?
Right.
Or they kind of get weird like they did last series, you know what I mean? And the ball stops moving and they don't play their brand of basketball and they start kind of imploding from the inside and
Yeah.
it's like alien climbing out of them or something. I don't know. I don't know why that alien did like a breaststroke swim move.
The other thing I wanted to say was the Cavs defense, I don't understand how, but has stepped it up so much, and it doesn't even feel like it. Like I just feel like that last Boston game when they were missing every wide open shot, it just felt like these other teams are kind of beating themselves. Or they're getting like the Raptors just did terrible, but they have the lowest points opponents' points per game right now in the playoffs. They're holding them to 99 points per game.
Wow.
I think it is just
That's so weird though.
But they
this
play-
team is terrible. Like you have a starting lineup of J.R. Smith and Kevin Love and Kyle Korver, Jeff Green, Jose Calderon. This whole team is
Those are
built
not
of
good defenders.
terrible defenders.
No.
So at what point are they actually defending? I don't understand how
See, I
they're.
think like that last game in Boston, that was just Boston shot themselves in the foot. Like Scary Terry shot, 0 for 9 from 3.
Yeah, he was terrible. He was
It
absolutely terrible.
was the same thing with the Rockets shot themselves in the foot. They were living and dying by the 3 and not getting real shots. I don't know if it is like the Cavs playing great defense or these teams are just like, oh, this is how we beat the Cavs. We hit threes and then they just don't.
So,
because I watch them sometimes, I'm just like, they're like missing switches. I'm like, what is going on? They've done a lot better going throughout, but
that brings me to something that I wanted to ask both of you, which is I've heard a lot of chatter about we should appreciate the victory over the Eastern Conference for LeBron this year, and we should appreciate it almost like an NBA Finals. Like, wow, you really did it, Bron. Yeah. That was incredible. Who cares what happens next? It's making the finals, so I would never dismiss that. But my question to you guys is, where does this fall? Because yes, LeBron just carried maybe the worst supporting cast of his career, at least top 2 or lowest 2, however you would say.
Right.
One of the worst 2 supporting casts of his career. He just carried them to the finals. It is incredible what he did.
Right.
However, I don't think he's ever had an easier road to the finals. Who did they play? They played the Victor Oladipo Pacers, like the second most overachieving team of the entire NBA this year, second only to the Utah Jazz, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they defeated totally mind-fucked Toronto.
I think that's the biggest one for me. Like the team, like playing the Raptors, who were the number 1 seed, like pretty much the entire year, and just slaughtering them almost.
But they bowed down to the king. They took a knee and then he sliced their heads off.
But that's the point. It's like he went in there and he's like, I own you. Like, I just dominating you every single time. We went in game 1 and took them to overtime, won that game. Game 2 was the buzzer
People
beater.
do forget that there were some actually awesome games.
Those games were like close, but at the end it was just LeBron going, I'm not losing this game.
I will not lose to DeMar and McDonald's Kyle Lowry. I just won't.
I'm just really surprised in last offseason they never tried to even answer the question of who's going to guard LeBron.
They don't have money.
They knew they were going to get there, but like they had all the deepest bench in the league. And you know what? Maybe you trade some of that deep bench for a guy that can just put a body on LeBron. They put a rookie on LeBron that whole series.
So how do you guys feel? How do you guys feel about him reaching the finals this year? Is it more about is it more, wow, LeBron carried this trash team to the finals and what an achievement? Or is it more, yeah, that's cool, but he beat no one?
I think it's twofold. It's one, I can't believe Boston Celtics went to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals because going into the playoffs, I thought they were going to lose to the Bucks. And then they go and beat Jason's 76ers, which everyone was like, no, this is an easy series. And then they go up against LeBron James, and everyone's like, they don't really have it. And then all of a sudden they take them to 7 games, and they probably should have won Game 7 if they just didn't, like I said earlier, shoot themselves in the foot with threes. I think it's, like you said, LeBron's not playing anyone great. Like, it's not going to go down as like all-time great. But if you look at who he's with, it's just like, you take LeBron off this team and you put in DeMar DeRozan to play small forward, I don't even know if that team makes the playoffs.
I don't think so.
I don't even
Not
know
even
if
in the East.
No.
See, I don't know. It's kind of like it goes back to every year when I look at the end of the East and I'm like, you guys were all bad. Like, you guys just let LeBron do this again to you. And this is the worst LeBron has ever been, but this also might be like, I don't know. It's not a great East either. It's 1 year away from being an elite East. Like, if he did this
we didn't lose
next year, like if he did that to the Boston team with Kyrie and Gordon, it would have been ridiculous. If he did it with another year of the, if the 76ers were better and they had one more year of Ben Simmons.
Oh, we'll get there today.
Embiid got bigger and, maybe they have all this cap. Maybe they get a closer. If he had been able to beat those 2 elite teams of next year, it would have been more impressive. But, I mean, this is super impressive right now, but it still just feels at the end of the day the Wizards are bad. Raptors just apparently just suck. And if you go down the list, like every single one of these teams, they have so many flaws.
The Raptors are the team that should have been like
They should have had it. They could have exploited every other player, but they just couldn't.
They shouldn't have been the team that
LeBron.
got swept. Like, of all the teams they played, the Cavs that have played,
Nick still believes.
it's not that I still believe.
I never
I'm
believed.
still like baffled that they sucked so bad and they blew every chance to win. You don't be the number 1 seed, and this is what you turn out to be.
I guess they're the number 1 seed because the East was terrible.
I guess it goes back to that.
It always goes back to every single GM in the East is just really
Well,
frustrating.
remember like the beginning of the year when Basketball Reference
Less age.
Basketball
Yeah,
Reference said the
age.
Cavs are going to end as the 7th seed, and I was like, "There's no possibility that's going to happen." Yeah, screw you, Basketball Reference. I was right.
There was a time they were hovering for a while around.
They were
that.
hovering, but
They
then I
were
knew
a
LeBron
long-
James was going to come out and be like, "No."
You just knew the East was terrible. He was eventually going to.
They've always been terrible. Like what? This isn't like news.
Yeah, no, it's not breaking news.
Yeah, I can't even think of like specific teams in the past that were like elite. I'm trying to think of maybe like Derrick Rose Bulls, like 2011 before he got hurt. They were number 1.
That was awesome.
That was a great year, but then he ran
Um,
into like I don't know, LeBron James.
And then I have to think maybe like the old Celtics. But that was still like I can't think
That
of
was
a-
still like a
what
08.
elite team has there been in the East from like 2014 to now?
2014 to now?
Yeah.
So like last
4 years. Has there been any like elite team outside of a LeBron team?
I mean, I guess like that Pacers.
I was gonna say, did that catch the
squad-
last year
Or was
of the
that
good
20?
Pacers
Or
squad?
was that 2013?
Because that team was pretty damn good.
The one with Hibbert and West,
And Lance Stevenson.
Lance, they brought him to what, 6?
And Paul George, obviously.
I think it was 6.
They brought him to 6.
I think the last time LeBron has ever had like
but even
the
that
Raptors took him to 6 that one time 2 years ago.
that Hawks team got bumped in like
Around
Yeah, they were a
First-
classic joke.
They lost
they were
to- they lost to the-
60 wins and they got bumped. Like
by the Pacers, I think.
I just don't trust anybody.
Those were some of the worst series. Like Hawks Pacers were the worst. It was always the game ended by like 15 plus.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
It
oh,
was a
you win a
total
home game,
swing.
we win a home game. You win a home game, we win a home. I was like, this sucks. This is the most uninteresting basketball. I don't even think I would watch those after like a half.
Do we want to make some official picks on how we think this is going to play out?
I like that. I've been listening to a lot of gambling on this series, and a lot of people are just like,
I'm coming back out of retirement.
Either
to gamble
don't
on this
do it-
series Also,
I've already done it. I'm going to tell you guys I put down a bet already. Just
Okay.
for fun because the odds were so insane that I thought
Lucas is stupid.
if there
He's
is-
just wasting money now.
I put $100 into an account to play with, and I've been just hovering around 100. I was currently sitting at $98. So now I'm just like, it's
So
the
instead
end.
of keeping that
it's-
$98,
It's the end of the season. It's over. Let's play with the rest of the money. I put $50 on the Cavs in 7
wow.
because they were 22 to 1 odds,
I mean, I love that bet.
and I'll win pay $50 to win 1150. I think. So
It's pretty sweet.
yeah, I'm okay with that bet, and so I still have like $40 to play with, and I don't know how I'm going to play with it. But like the first half of the game is like Cavs are like plus 300 for the first half,
Okay.
and I'm like, any of those bets seem kind of solid to me. Like those seem like little stealers that you could, because the Warriors don't show up in the first half. Like it'd be super cocky. So I have Cavs in 7 with the bet, but I think realistically it'll probably be like Warriors in a sweep. Yeah,
You're going to say Warriors sweep?
yeah. I think that's honestly the most realistic scenario.
Wow. You want to go next? You want me to go? You still mulling it over?
it's going to be Warriors in 5.
Warriors 5. That's
They want to win at Oracle.
I want to say Cavs in 7 so badly.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
yeah, you do because
You
it's
really
an
don't.
underdog story. It's like the year
It's
of the
just-
underdog.
It is, and I don't know why, but all of a sudden, I'm tantalized by the fact that I would have to put LeBron James as greatest of all time. I said this like on a podcast maybe 2 weeks ago. Michael Jordan, my favorite athlete of all time. My daughter's initials are MJ for that exact reason. And I've always said there's pretty much no way LeBron can catch him. But if he can win this year with just garbage on his team,
Yeah.
if he can beat one of the greatest teams of all time in the Warriors, he will ascend beyond Michael Jordan. And I'm so tantalized by it. But no, Warriors in 6.
Warriors in 6. See, it's just something about LeBron to me right now where it's like, if you wanted to rank whatever the top 5 guys left, LeBron is tier 1, but I think you leave like a gap.
I agree.
Then I think like the rest of them are on an entire 2 tiers or whatever separated from LeBron James. Like there's something about LeBron right now that
I totally get it. LeBron's tier 1. Tier 2 is fucking empty.
Yeah, like LeBron has been flawless basically this whole offseason, but Durant hasn't. Postseason.
Because offseason's usually not great.
No. Draymond's been terrible. Curry's been iffy. Like you don't know what quarter he's going to show up in. So all those guys haven't been consistent, and he's been consistently great. And I kind of don't want to root against the best player in the world. That's really a hard scenario right now, especially when he's the underdog. And if he didn't care about winning the finals anymore, he would have just given up at some point.
I don't like Bron, but I am rooting for him in this series. And I'll be rooting for the Cavs in this series.
I'd rather have LeBron win his 4th ring than Durant win his 2nd. That's kind of how I feel right now. I don't want Durant to win ever again.
He's going to win this year.
He ruined everything. He really did.
There's just a lot of sad head shaking going on over here. I get it. I hear you. He was my favorite player.
He was so lovable.
I know. It still brings like a single tear to my eye.
My favorite snake.
My favorite snake.
All right. You guys want to talk about some other really interesting shit?
Yes.
What is going on with my boys and the Philadelphia 76ers? What in the world? Colangelo, you clown. You clown. I don't even care how this all plays out. Just fire him right now. Fire him right now because we are at risk of losing the summer that we've spent the entire process processing for. Everything has led us to right now. These guys can see I'm like visually freaking out. Everything has led us to right now. And for this to drop basically right as we're starting to like recruit star players to come. Hey, come to Philly, Kawhi. It's a great place. You'll never experience anything like you experienced in San Antonio. What the fuck? Colangelo, you're killing me, dude. We're taking for granted that our listeners know about this, but if you're listening to our niche pod, I'm sure you are well aware that Colangelo had up to 5 burner accounts, allegedly, as reported by The Ringer, that may or may not somehow involve his wife as well.
Yep.
It's
One of them was confirmed. The phila1234567 account.
7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7 account. The Ringer had to call Philly and ask them like which of these accounts is real. Like we have the phone numbers and everything. And then they confirmed that the Phila one had been used by Colangelo multiple times.
Yeah, so when they did that, they only told the 76ers about that and one other one that they suspected.
Yep.
Within half an hour of making the Sixers organization aware, the 76ers informed Colangelo and the 3 others that the Ringer had been monitoring immediately went from public to private like that.
Yeah.
If that's not a smoking gun, there are too many coincidences. This is real.
This season is just insane. Like, we had the Markelle Fultz just not playing because of injuries or whatever.
Apparently to Colangelo says it's all a mental thing.
We have the Colangelo Twitter. Can't forget J.R. Smith through Soup. Like, I forget Hot Soup at a trainer. What else has happened this year?
A top 5 NBA player in Kawhi just not playing.
Kawhi didn't play the whole year. I don't even know. Like, there's so much has happened. I love it. DeMarcus is now freaking out about the Pelicans.
Yep.
Like,
it is why we love. I shouldn't say.
How could you not love it?
It's a reason why we and so many people love the NBA. Like it's drama. It's
intrigue. A lot of drama.
It's phenomenal. But when it happens to your team, like my 76ers, it's a little less fun because I really am nervous that this is going to hamper our ability to sign one of the key free agents that we need to sign, which is why I implore you, 76ers ownership, management, aside from Clown Colangelo, get him out of there immediately, sign David Griffin, and let's get this thing going.
And let's get LeBron.
I mean, kind of.
I just don't.
Oh my God, we forgot about the Ball family. That was another drama aspect. I hated them, but that's another thing.
Yeah, that was just
They
huge
just
early on,
exist.
especially.
I don't know. Like, well, let's just not talk about
Somewhere
the
in Eastern
Lakers.
Europe, they still exist.
No, LiAngelo's actually at like the Lakers practice facility practicing because we're gonna draft him with
Is
like
Luke
the
Walton hyped?
22nd pick or something stupid.
LeVar's new coach.
Let's cash it in. Just cash in me stop watching basketball. If I get LeVar Ball, LiAngelo Ball, and let's just bring him out of retirement. LeVar never played professional. He could just hop in now.
Yeah, he
we'll
just
pick him
hops
up for
right in.
like $450,000.
So what's the list of terrible things that Colangelo did during this Twitter thing? He leaked
It was all
Information
confidential
out.
information too.
Jahil Okafor.
Yeah, medical information. Really bad. Really bad. Ripped Joel Embiid.
Ripped Joel Embiid.
Ripped Markelle Fultz.
Yeah.
Supported himself in
A
very
lot.
bizarre ways, including the style of collar he wears on his dress
Oh,
shirts.
yeah. What his comeback was like, find a new slant. His collars are fine. Well, so the thing that goes back to his wife is that those other burner accounts, the phone number is associated with his wife.
All right, if you're gonna get a burner account, get a burner cell phone.
Right.
Like, how are people bad at this? You could like Durant. Come on.
In fairness, I mean, this guy's in his 50s. Like, he's kind of allowed to be bad at, like, burner Twitter, I guess.
So I think it was like 2 hours ago, some Raptors ex-employee said that Colangelo used to have burner accounts on realgm.com for the comment section. So he could comment and just trash who's the new GM for the Raptors?
Masai.
Yeah. So he would just
Masai
trash.
Ujiri?
I can't remember.
I don't know. I apologize.
But yeah, he just bashes him the entire time as well.
It's amazing because the NBA like pushed the Colangelos on the Sixers.
Right.
So this will be Adam Silver like worst. I still think it's the worst decision Adam Silver ever did. You just can't get that involved in a team.
It's a backfire of the authoritarianism.
It's way too much.
The NBA.
The Sixers got fucking foisted.
Yeah.
We got foisted.
I mean, everything that Colangelo has done so far, except signing JJ Redick, might have been just terrible.
Jerry Bayless, that gem of a contract.
Oh, that was great.
It's awful. He doesn't even play.
They just shipped off Okafor for nothing. They shipped off Noel for nothing. Basically, they got like a second rounder, but
As potentially, and I haven't looked closely enough at the timeline with his comments and everything, but as potentially he himself was driving their value down.
oh yeah, by tweeting at the Sixers, at Sixers blogs, and saying like he's so bad, you don't understand. And,
Right.
And then my favorite one was actually the Olympic when he went to the Olympics comment.
Oh, weird.
And he
right?
just started trashing D Wade for like
And Gabby Union.
yeah.
Sweet, beautiful Gabrielle
I
Union.
was so confused. And you guys just hate kids or whatever. And I'm like, and then everyone was saying like, oh, it could have just been somebody else. And then my first thought process is like, there aren't just random people sitting next to Dwayne Wade.
Nope.
And then he was like assistant on the Team USA, but in like the office area. It was just like a name or whatever.
Well, because his dad runs Team USA.
Yeah. So he was there.
Correct, I believe, right?
I think so. Yeah, his dad is like some basketball overlord, and he used
to own the Phoenix Suns.
Yes, did he used to own them or run? I don't know. I think you're right.
I heard own.
Yeah. And then they sold so many of my freaking picks.
I love that. I just don't understand why you need to have burner accounts on your Twitter.
Because you're self-conscious, extraordinarily self-conscious about your job.
So, like, it'd be
your
great.
best friend's Kevin Durant.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they make an expansion team, this would be perfect. We put them in Vegas. We have Durant and Colangelo be co-owners of the team. But they'll be like, the Vegas Twitters or something. Like, we just have them.
Tweeters?
The Vegas Tweeters.
The Vegas Burners.
The Vegas Burners. Yeah, I actually like that one. That's better. Yeah, the Vegas Burners. And we'll just have Durant and Colangelo, but they'll, like, publicly have burner accounts.
Can their mascot just be some, like, two guys in, like, a snake costume just going around the
Eating
arena?
a cupcake.
Yeah, or that'd be good. Just one guy in a giant cupcake just waddling around.
Oh.
So what do you guys think? Do you think, because I'm coming at this obviously from a very impassioned
Get him.
perspective, do you think that this negatively impacts the Sixers' ability to kind of full circle this process?
Yes.
I think Not if they don't. If they fire him, I think they're fine. Because then they can just hire David Griffin or whatever. Or they
bring
can,
back Henke.
So they bring back Hinkie would save the universe.
Oh my
probably.
God, Sixers fans would lose their mind.
They would love it.
Because Jerry is the president of operations for the Sixers, right?
I don't know the
weird
truth.
truth. But like, would both Colangelos have to go?
I think you'd have to boot both of them. You
can't
keep this.
Because then if one's like, if you just get rid of Brian, right?
Yes.
If you just get rid of Brian and Jerry's still there, there's still that kind of.
Wait, are they both? I didn't.
Jerry hired his son.
Involved?
Yeah. So I remember when he first got there, it was like.
I think they're both involved.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But I guess we'll get back to that one. We'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're definitely not.
I just think
that they can't be there. Like, you just can't be there.
It's got to be done now. I think all the trust from all the players is gone. They're not going to respect you. Free agents aren't going to respect you. And he's already made so many poor decisions. I think this is
what's
just
the point in keeping him?
Yeah, what's the point now? I mean, what was...
Because no matter what happens, even if it comes out that these were his wife's accounts and she was the one doing it, okay, well, he's still leaking information to her.
Right.
Private, personal, medical information. Like, it's okay to talk about work, but it's not okay to talk about that.
Yeah.
Jerry is a special advisor to the 76ers. That's what his role is.
Okay, so easy to part ways.
Yeah, easy to get rid of him. But Brian...
They're not even my favorite team, and I'm so frustrated about it. Like, I would just be pissed that he's still there.
America's team now.
We
rode the process all the way to America's team. Anything else you guys want to touch on before we sign off?
I just love the fact that they went with the scapegoat of the wife. Like, that was your selling point.
I kind of thought, because it said, like, Eric Jr. or whatever was the other account, I thought they were going to go with, like, his son, like a nephew or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like, I let my...
Just fall on the sword, kid.
My nephew needed a Twitter account, so I give him mine, and I kind of monitor it once in a while.
And then I, like, post myself all these incriminating things
he's
that
only 14.
I would know.
Yeah, like, I was expecting they were just going to blame a family member, but it's absolutely him, because...
Has to be.
Yeah.
I think I'm just ready for basketball tonight and get over this Twitter stuff.
I'm not, dude. I'll talk about this all day.
I love it, but I
love the drama.
But no, I'm hyped. I'm really excited to get more live NBA in my life. Hopefully, this is a good series. Even if it's a short series, I just want the games to be good. You know what I mean? I want the quality of basketball to be good. First round was so much fun. Second and third, even though third went to game sevens, the first couple a lot of intrigue for me. It just didn't.
They weren't good.
Nope. But high hopes. Nick, tell the people where they can find us.
Twitter @SipAndSwish, Facebook SipAndSwish NBA. Our Twitter won't be hacked, and if there's any burner accounts want to message us, we'll hit you back with those mentions. Give us the insider details, Colangelos, if you have them anymore. But yeah, make sure to listen to us on wherever you're getting your podcasts. Subscribe, follow, do what you got to do. Thanks for listening.